Hey guys, I'm Andrew McCorman. Welcome to Web3 TV. In today's video, I'm with Chen, the head of the Cloudtech Group, and we're going to discuss the inspiration behind the Cloudtech Group and how it's helping Web3 investors. But before we do, make sure you register to watch every episode of Web3 TV here, where we share inspiring stories of all things Web3 making a difference to the world. All sorted? Okay, let's go. Kevin, you're the president of the Cloudtech Group, a multinational organization providing fintech solutions to governments, businesses, and individuals worldwide. You've also got an advisory role in blockchain market regulation, an advisory role in cryptocurrency investment projects, and a passion, such as myself, for global blockchain technology adoption and obviously what it can do to make a difference to the world. So tell us, how did this incredible journey begin?
Oh, well, like most of the people who's heavily involved in the industry for that long time, it's basically started from mining. So we started mining since the year 2014, and that was a very difficult time. The first half year was the price was okay, but the end of the year was really bad. Basically, you cannot even afford to pay the electricity bill at that time for the production that we made. But however, me and my partners, that we actually went out borrowing money to keep the machine money, even is actually losing money. The reason is, as I mentioned earlier, if we don't have enough computer or miners for the network, that's when blockchain or Bitcoin will die for sure. So that's actually something against the business nature that most of people shutting down their miners is because it's not cost efficient, it's actually losing money. So I started from mining, then we get into investments into miner designs. So we did design microchips, we built our own miners. And also we invest into exchanges, because at that time, people don't even have a place to trade, okay? The trading method was only like a pushing style. You actually launch into a forum, says, I have 5 Bitcoin for sale in that price. And people go like, okay, I like that, I will buy for it. Okay, there's no such market. But the biggest market was empty GOX in Japan. Well, once they got stolen, it was a big damage at that time. But there's smaller exchanges that, with the passion of those people who started in the very early age, don't even charge for trading fees, don't charge for listing fees. Because that time I found the people was in the industry are really here to solve the problem of trust. Then later on, of course, when we come to the ICO age in year 2017, we become sort of blockchain VCs. We invest into 300 projects, and in that year, of course, most of them are failures. But the mindset of myself and my partners is always to help those people who has the passion in this industry, because we believe the value comes from consensus. So last year we started setting up more entities, is because that I found is the time that the traditional market or the traditional authorities is actually merged into blockchain world. For me, always taking myself as a missionary of blockchain, I think I should show examples how can we work with the existing system in a very harmony way. So that's why I do lots of advisories for some governments and big companies for them to blockchainize in some fields. So today's Cloudtech that we actually involved into, of course, venture capitalists, that we can help startups and help people with the passion, good ideas in blockchain. And we're also running financial services, which is licensed in Australia, Canada, Dubai, and Malaysia. So we're helping this fiat channel, the traditional money channel, to merge into the crypto channel or blockchain channel.
Wow, sounds exciting. So
Yeah,
who would be your ideal clients for getting VC or for getting the capital for their projects? Is it anyone with any project, or do you have specific niches in mind for what you like to invest in?
Basically anything about blockchain that we will invest into it. Anything semi-blockchain, we will invest into it. This is a industry, okay, you don't need money. Lots of people, I don't have the money to do things. Okay, it's not the money. You need a good and brilliant idea. So that's the beauty of blockchain. If you have a brilliant idea, you can very quickly capitalize it. Just like the ICOH, right? To list your company, you have to take at least 2 to 3 years and spend lots of money for the legal and all this authority, which is a cost of trust. Yeah, then you can list your company. But the good ideas never wait for it, right? You want those ideas to be planted to grow quickly. That's where blockchain will give you the convenience. Of course, lots of people invest into new projects, they lost money. I mean, that's venture capital, right? In some way, you can call it gamble, but in a good intention.
Yeah. So the inspiration for you, like I know there's inspiration around blockchain and everything else, but if we look back in your history, you weren't into the blockchain, say further back than 10 years ago. What were you into, and what is it that's really drawn you to the blockchain Web3 space, that when you do invest in these companies and these projects and these ideas, startups, etc., makes you feel really good? What's underpinning all of that?
Oh, I'm already feeling very good. Is reason I seen this industry growing. I also seen that people actually benefit from its convenience. Let's see a good example. Okay, before you want to send your money out of China, it's your own money, but the government have a restriction of $50,000 limit for each person in China, which means the risk of money, if you wanted to, let's say you want to settle in Australia or you want to buy properties in different countries, it's always difficult. But now people use USDT. That's very simple, very quick transactions, right? And people are actually don't have to fight for their rights to get the things done, but already have a decentralized system to fulfill them with very, very low cost and risk.
Yeah. So tell me, I'm feeling there's more motivation behind that. So if I'm not allowed to take more than 50,000 out of a country and move to another country, that's a barrier for me, right?
Yes, yes.
So how is that important to you?
The importance to me is, again, the fundamental of value to me is by consensus, all right? Providing people with convenience for something that the real can benefit it, they would start trusting the system. They were spreading the consensus because they feel good. The best way of advertisement is always word of mouth, right? So for me, blockchain business is a business. The more you share, the more you gain, right? The Bitcoin price was only $1 or even less, like 10,000 for 2 pizza at that time. Why? It's because only very smaller group believe in that. But today, 100 million people believe in that. So we have the value of 16,000 currently, right? So we've already seen the difference.
Yeah. So
that make me, sorry, that actually make me feel more comfortable to be a businessman, because being a businessman is not, it's like, you always sell people things that with higher price you bought, right? That's not really nice. Of course, we know that's the business manner, right? That's business. But however, in blockchain case, right? If I'm thinking I'm an investor, I will sit on my Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? Keep promoting the technology, and more people believe in it. I'm getting it, but no people is losing money.
Very good. So Cloudtech, how do you see it making a difference? Obviously, it's helping fund some of these projects, but let's go bigger again. Are the projects that
Okay.
you're funding making difference to the world? Like, it's important to us at Web3 TV that we share stories that make a difference to the world. So we always ask anyone that we interview, how are you making a difference? Why are you different and how's it making a difference? Tell us about Cloudtech and what you're doing.
So Cloudtech is actually also doing NFT gallery entity in Australia. We call it Australian National NFT Galleries, right? We will help the artist to actually put in a very low cost. They can have their art piece with titles, so which will protect their personal IP, will protect them from people actually duplicate their products and works without their consent. And again, it is a missionary job. As I mentioned, there's no specific way of making money in my company. I don't want to actually get from people, but I like to share with people, because the more we're sharing, the more value as a stakeholder.
Absolutely.
So maybe that's the difference between us and the other companies. And plus, because we spend lots of time and with our lawyers and our professional staffs, we trying to make this traditional and blockchain world connect together in a very harmony way. So that will benefit people. The reason will benefit people is, what if one day our government turn around, become like a evil government, right? We have no control of it, right? But at least we have an alternative way for people's wealth to be stored.
Yeah.
And plus, we're working with universities to do technology research, which we wanted to do innovations. We want to create something that never been done before. Like you mentioned earlier about the wasting of minings, right? But there's already a technology called edge computing, which means you use one of your device while they're sleeping, while they're not doing anything. It's not going to cost you any extra, but still can do computing work for blockchain. Then there's been no wastage on powers.
And Kevin, carbon neutrality and environmentally friendly blockchain and Web3 technology is important to you as well?
Yes, that's very important. I think if we don't solve that problem, blockchain has no future, because that's against the nature, against the consensus of protecting our Earth. That's a global consensus.
Yeah. So how are you doing that with Cloudtech Group?
Okay. So first of all, we come to the original idea of decentralizations of mining, right? But today it's basically against this idea already, because all these miners is situated into very concentrated areas due to the cheaper supply of electricity bills. So we wanted to change the algorithm from POW to like proof of time and space, which means we can store useful data into it, and get all these devices into household like a router. While this router can provide internet connection to your home, also they can do what they call edge computing, do the timestamp, the registration on the transactions, and also solve the encryption problems to gain rewards from being a part of the network. So which means that most of the household probably will no longer have to pay for their internet bills, because the router is making money for them, being part of the network. And also our algorithm will actually limit the IP address. Let's see, the reason they can put into a concentrated area with millions of or hundreds of thousands of miners is because there's no limitation on an IP address how many machines you can have, right? Which give the people centralize all these things to mining together. But however, in our case, we're actually limiting one internet IP only can host one device, which means a household can only have one. If they're really into making money, they can connect 2 or 3, but that's maximum, right? The IPS provider would not give them that more IPs. Also, it's cost them too much to have extra lines. So that fundamentally preventing centralizing the decentralized system. And plus, when we do edge computing, all the power we consume, it's already has to be consumed for internet service anyway. So there'll be no extra cost on electricity. In other words, there'll be no extra damage to our environment.
And Kevin, are you investing in this, or you're creating this technology?
I'm investing in it. Also, we're creating this technology with MIT.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So working at the university level as well. What about, so if we'll come back to that, but at the government level, you advise to governments, but how do you see it making a difference with governments with what you're sharing with them?
I think so far you don't see any difference. Why? It's because when a government running the holistic system, okay, every part of the system that related to cost, related to personal relationships, related to existing beneficial chains, to actually overthrow that, that's a big asking. But however, all the ideas I provide to them, they can actually predict there is a big benefits to government system, but that's on a neutral level. But when people wants to make a decision, you have to take sides because you already have a situation that you have to take sides, right? Your education background and your government level and your cultural background. So basically, I was still thinking all the advisory job, whether it gets implemented or not, I still take it as a very serious missionary job. To actually promote our blockchain philosophies to much higher level. Once people in that level understands, right, when there's an appropriate chance come for them to change, they will take it because that's beneficial.
Very good. So again, I'm hearing that you going higher level than governments and actually helping the sovereign individual. And over time, when it gets a groundswell, it's going to make sure the governments have to do something about it. Is that what you're saying, or is it just me reading into it?
I think, you're 100% right, but I would describe in a different way. Okay, my way is everyone has compassion. Everyone has their ego. We're human beings. Okay, I don't criticize on the politicians, because if they put me into that situation, I could do worse, because you have to understand from their perspective. So in this case, I'm always thinking, because I'm providing a system, that the system is so neutral. It's not actually taking sides or damage specifically to a group of people's benefits. We only need those people to understand, and then they find their situation and their position into that system for them to be comfortable with. I think all these government workers and public servants, okay, they all like to be a nice person, but the situation they're involved in sometimes make them do things that they don't want to do it. But for many different reasons, it's the whole world's having problem. As I mentioned, it's a system problem. It's not a people's problem.
And if we look now at universities, you're working with RMIT. Or how does that relationship work, and how's it, like, what's the vision there with helping the students and things like that?
Okay, first of all, we actually work with Monash for a long time already. Still joining up with Monash and government together. We have that network already 4 years. Then RMIT one already have almost 1 year. Okay, the reason I go to the academic institutions is because this is something new, right? Something new. I want people to believe in it. Even I see it, you see it, right? People don't think that we're that persuasive. And we can't prove it because it's new, right? But all these theories came out of the scientists or the academics today. University endorsement for new ideas is probably one of the best way for people to feel more comfortable to listen and to listen what we're going to say. So that's the first thing. Of course, is for the missionary purpose, right? Secondly, is about, yes, blockchain is brand new and yet to be developed. There's lots of things that we're still having trouble because that's an infrastructure building stage. We need smarter brains. We need real professionals that to actually head into this industry to help us to build infrastructures. For example, the head professor of our Monash University joint lab, okay, he is the innovator of ring signature technology, which is being used into the cryptocurrency called Monero, which is still the top 10 cryptocurrency, and it's about the same age as Bitcoin.
And the purpose of it is?
The purpose of it is, of course, to accelerate the process of blockchain technology that can serve people better, serve our society better.
So you coined the Messiah. I've coined you the Doyen. You've become an evangelist, I guess, for blockchain and everything Web3. What was it that got you? Like, we talked about the inspiration earlier, but what is it that got you, and when did it get you? Like, what was the catalyst that went, wow, there's something in this, I need to tell the world about it?
Okay, what it got me in the beginning is the three things that are written in Bitcoin white paper, right? Solve the trust problem, give you the privacy, and also give you the 100% control of your own wealth. So that's actually the motivation. But today you ask me what's got in my mind, why I'm still so passionate about it. I would say if you look at a very religious monk or a priest, right? Their purpose is already in their blood. Because I'm so used to the way of blockchain way of thinking. I'm doing it, I just feel good about it. Right? Doesn't matter whether you want to make money, you want to have a higher position in the society. It's all about happiness. I feel lucky because I'm in an industry that make me happy, and I wanted to share my happiness with the rest of the world.
Very cool. And I guess you get to do that on a day-to-day basis with the Cloudtech Group. So from a blockchain services point of view, what services do you guys provide to your potential clients?
Okay, so of course, blockchain services we consider that's the most advanced fintech services, right? So basically, including financial part and the technology part. And people feel risky these days, hesitating about entering the market or entering this industry, is because the technology risk and political or regulation risks, right? So I can't do much about the regulations. I'm still pushing it because I'm still writing my book about blockchainism. But on the other hand, safety issues I can fix. I can help people to get into it. So we're providing wallet system. We're providing the most advanced and efficient and safe way of transactions being between cryptocurrency and cash currency. We're providing payment solutions that people who has cryptocurrency have but wants to spend everywhere in the world. So we're connecting with Visa, Master. So even you have Bitcoin, you can actually swap it in your very app, the Cloudtech X app. You can swap it into any sort of currency. Then you can spend it as normal money, but without going to a bank.
Sounds exciting. And the fintech side of the business. So obviously there's VC happens there, investing in fintech companies. What else?
We are trying to involve with the much bigger companies, like let's see, all the car manufacturings and all these like Huawei and all these big IT service and equipment providers. The reason we're doing that again is to get stronger endorsement for normal people to feel safer about this technology. And also to change a lot of ways that we're used to today. I can give you a quick example on the motor vehicle blockchain idea. Okay, so today's car compared to the cars that we're going to have in the future, The real difference is you buy a car, you drive yourself. In the future, you buy a car, you get a free driver, which is the autopilot. But to train autopilot, you require lots of road data. Let's see, an example of China is a big country, has about 7 million kilometers of roads. And no country or no companies can actually constantly update the road data all the time for the AI to learn how to drive. But if we put in a box into each car and people uploading their roadside conditions to the blockchain service, and they get paid for it, right? So the autopilot can learn much more accurate roadside conditions to be a better driver. And the insurance companies can take from those data and to actually do an individual policy, because the way you drive, how heavy is your food, how quick you do your brake, it's all to a safety manner, right? So insurance companies will be much more accurate on different individual drivers. All safe drivers will save lots of money on their insurance. And also with the police force, right? Even you have camera everywhere, but not everywhere. But imagine all cars has a camera that keep uploading these data in a real-time way. And also for the city town planners, there's many things that with one automobile blockchain service would change a lot of things in people's transportations and how the way we travel.
Sounds incredible. That's a whole new conversation in itself, but what a great conversation we've had. We've had multiple lessons today with you, Kevin. If there's one person who you want to attract or who you see as your ideal client or customer to your business, I want you to just look straight down your camera and give them your pitch. What would you say to them?
Well, what I would say to them, okay, I would say to them, if you're afraid of things, afraid of change, you have to change it, because the only thing that doesn't change in this world is changing. All right. So blockchain is a big turning point to the format of financial services, to the format of government types. So it's a time for you to enter this brand new industry, to find your chance and to fulfill your ego in a nice way.
Very good. And from a business perspective, what sort of problem or requirement would they come to you with? Is it investment? Is it solutions for their ideas relating to blockchain? What's the ideal for you?
Well, for me, is that people, okay, from the investment point of view, okay, it's sometimes really hard to find the target to invest into, because most of the blockchainer, the coin blockchainer today, still using a centralized way to understand a blockchain project. That's where they got wrong in the beginning. They only think the blockchain is a different way of spending money, which is not true, because the monetary system that people has today is already convenient enough for them. They don't need blockchain. Until we talk about earlier, fundamental why we need blockchain, right? But if you're only thinking about spending, man, our system is good. Ask your parents. They like it.
Very good. Well, Kevin, really appreciate your time today. We'll put a link in the description below on how to access yourself and the Cloudtech Group. Really appreciate all the wisdom you've shared, the motivation, inspiration, and obviously the passion for the blockchain and everything that it can do for society and making a difference to the world.
Thank you so much, Andrew. I'm so much enjoy talking with you today, and you're the kind of people that I like to attract. Why? It's because that you have your subconsciously trying to find personal freedom, also free all others in the world, and you like to spread the ideas that you think is genuine. Okay, that's the right spirit for a blockchain.
Well, there it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed this Web3 TV episode. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. And remember, if you'd like to watch every episode of Web3 TV, visit the link below or subscribe to our channel. And remember to hit the bell icon so that we can notify you every time a new episode is released. I'm Andrew McComb, and I look forward to sharing more inspiring Web3 TV episodes, making a difference to the world. I'll see you soon.